Major Kill is selling steroids to kids. What the fuck? G'day, fuckheads. So apparently, once again, I've been cancelled. I think we're getting up to the double digits now. Often when this sort of thing happens, I ignore it, as firstly, it's usually stupid, and secondly, I'm very cautious of the Streisand effect. However, I sometimes do think it is a good idea to respond, as it could be a great opportunity to take accountability if I have done something wrong, or say it's stupid and people are dumb as fuck and way too soft if I haven't. However, mostly I do it because people love to lie and exaggerate. The amount of times I've seen online people discussing things about me that straight up never happened is nuts. I remember there was a community based around another small YouTuber, I'm not even going to mention their names because they are that disgusting, that publicly stated that I had doxed and sent my followers to try bully a popular Warhammer fan animator into retirement in my attempt to Disneyify Warhammer, none of which ever remotely happened, and the animator actually reached out to me to apologize and clear the air. I shit you not, people make up some wild stuff. That's literally just the tip of the iceberg. Then a couple days ago, I noticed a video posted 4 months ago by Morty and Glory. Sorry I'm late to the party, it's been a very busy few months. Titled, "What the fuck happened to Major Kill?" with over 100,000 views. And I was like, oh, that's why we lost a couple hundred subscribers a few months ago. And I also noticed a few strange comments on my YouTube videos and other forums saying I'd lost my mind and was selling steroids to kids, which was news to me. But what is this latest round of cancellation actually about? Well, I made a video some time ago where I did my squat, bench, and deadlift max for a bit of fun and revealed if I was natural or not. Now, generally, I believe whatever people put into their own bodies is entirely their own business, unless they begin to sell any sort of product involved in the fitness industry, such as pre-workouts, supplements, coaching programs, and so on. I launched a coaching community for people interested in health optimization via blood work analysis, peptides, supplementation, diet, and exercise. The main goal being to help those who have tried everything but cannot lose the weight or cannot heal from chronic injuries. And I'm proud to say we have. In those months, we've managed to coach people and take them from constant pain, ruined knees, and so on to now living pain-free, fulfilled lives without previous injuries, and I'm not going to apologize for that. However, straight up, there is some accountability here I need to take. I'm obviously quite passionate about the biohacking topic. I think peptides are the best thing since sliced bread, and within the next 2 to 3 years, they will be the most used and celebrated medication on the planet if they aren't already. However, I say that because I've spent years and years researching them, using them, speaking to industry leaders and doctors. I didn't respect or appreciate the fact that most people have not spent this time and do not know much about peptides. So when I said this, the healing peptides BPC and TB500, which are like miracle healing drugs, and honestly the entire world should be taking them, that was overzealous of me to say. I definitely appreciate the poor optics of me telling everyone to inject prescription medication when I am not a doctor, so I should not have done that, regardless or not if the statement was technically correct. Now, Mordian does make a fair point, stating that a lot of these exciting new age things end up being problematic down the track once society's learned more about them. Stuff like asbestos, for example, cigarettes, lead, uranium, stuff that when discovered seemed awesome and harmless, but then we found out they were giving everyone turbo cancer. Something I also need to take accountability for is saying that my initial foray into a non-steroidal but still enhanced biohack was more or less side effect free. I was taking enclomiphene, CJC, and ipamorelin, and yeah, it was a great stack for improving my quality of life. The stack is also incredibly well tolerated and has been extensively used, tested, and approved for human use worldwide. For me personally, I did not experience side effects, and it seemed like very people do. However, I should have been a lot more careful and cautious with my words and said that although this works for me, it may be different for you and you should consult your doctor and do more research before jumping into this. I think I was honestly just overexcited, as this biohacking literally changed my life, and I was keen to share that with people whose lives I thought it could also change for the better. So I really didn't think about how irresponsible it is to tell a large audience to gung-ho on some prescription medication. Now, the word snake oil is thrown around a lot with this kind of thing, and I get that. It does sound snake oily, but enclomiphene will increase your testosterone, CJC and ipamorelin will increase your growth hormone. Increases in both will make you feel better. That's just how it is. I'm sorry, there's nothing to debate on there. Just Google it or ChatGPT or whatever. I'm not defending me being overzealous, but I'm also not just gonna lie and pretend it doesn't do something when it definitely does. Now, I think I understand where some of the confusion is coming from, why some people say I'm promoting steroids. In some parts of my video, I discuss certain medications and peptides and say that I enjoyed them and would recommend them. In other parts, I just discuss stuff I had taken, but I did not endorse or encourage their use. I wanted to be 100% transparent in the video, so when I said I had taken MK677 to bulk, I actually didn't like MK677 and I don't recommend it. It has a lot of side effects and I never said I recommended it. However, Mordian took me discussing it as me endorsing it, which I never did. I also decided to go on a fat bulk and swap out my lean and mean GH peptides with MK677, which is a much more—
Oh yeah, MK677 sounds totally healthy and natural. Obviously not natural. Obviously not. Yeah, it's just gonna suck down a nice tall glass of MK677.
Maybe I should have had a disclaimer every time I discuss something that I don't recommend anyone taking, but I do need to clear that up. Something that was also a bit cringe of me to say during the video was that after I leaned up after my bulk and got my dream physique, and for the first time in my life, actually feeling like a beast, getting compliments on the daily, suddenly getting a ton of interest from women who used to be way out of my league, that was cringe of me to say. Yes, it was true, but you shouldn't use attention from women as the main marker for self-validation or the main motivation to dramatically alter your body via biohacking. I think I was just trying to make a point about a difference I noticed. Now, Morty and Glory is actually a pretty funny guy. I laugh multiple times in his video and I respect the banter for sure. His video calling me out is actually linked in the description. And I also respect him for doing this video as a call out rather than a cancellation attempt. Like at no point did he actually try to do a call to action or try to get people to unsubscribe or whatever. But he also has no idea about a lot of what he is talking about.
I don't even know what a fucking peptide is. Okay, I don't. And you could hold that against me. That's a criticism, man.
But it all just kind of ties into his snake oil perspective on things. He just has no idea about anything I'm actually talking about in the video, and I think you would also acknowledge that. Now, when I actually discussed me getting on a steroid cycle because I wanted to try it, I never said anyone should do that. I also didn't post what I was taking or the doses anywhere, not even to the people I was coaching, as I don't actually think people should do steroids. Well, at least 99.9% of people shouldn't, because the amount of time, money, and knowledge you need to do a cycle that doesn't fuck your health up is very high. Steroids are never healthy, but the difference between the health outcomes of an idiot who raw dogs his cycle without supplements, ancillaries, or a plan versus someone who knows what they're doing is literally night and day. Another point I want to make very clear, the biohacking coaching I offered did not include any form of steroid coaching, nor did it discuss any form of how to source steroids. At most, we just said if you're on doctor prescribed TRT and were having issues, we could offer you some basic advice. All I wanted to do was be transparent about my own use of anabolics in order not to try pretend peptides make you huge. They don't. They heal you and they make you less fat, which is a massive oversimplification, but that's kind of the gist of it. So anyone who said I was selling steroids or endorsing steroids, especially to kids, are fucking liars and should go fuck themselves. I mean, less than 3% of the people that watch my channel are under 17, so all this, wow, Major killing his young impressionable audience, no, you're a fucking retard. I bet people saying that are now clutching their neckbeards in fear as their fat jiggles, when they realize that adults can like watching a dumb fuck Aussie talk about Warhammer lore as well. Now again, I do want to take accountability for something else. I do not regret offering the coaching service, and I am proud of the people we have helped change the lives of. However, when I announced it in the video, I should have been a lot more direct, objective, and encourage people to do their own research and speak to their doctors. Instead, I said, if you wanted to be a custodian or space marine, peptides. I shouldn't have tried to insinuate that if you wanted to be a sci-fi super soldier, you needed peptides. That was very markety and silly of me. I should have taken the topic more seriously. That is my bad, and I'm sorry. Morty and Glory highlights how this is all one big, clear scheme to try and make some money. Look at me before, where I was sad, unhappy with my body. Now look at me now, I'm big and happy and fuck hot girls. Which I mean, yeah, I'm spitting truth there, but watching it back does make me look ridiculous. I should have focused a lot more on the healing, health, and fat loss side of things, showing off studies and whatnot. Instead, I used myself as the model example and made it seem more like bro science looks maxing bullshit, which was wrong of me. However, in the video, once again, when I said bodybuilding is unhealthy and I would not coach bodybuilders, Morty and Glory clapped back with, I will definitely not coach anyone on how to bodybuild. I find that shit extremely unhealthy. This isn't some bullshit.
Yeah, man. Bodybuilding. Bodybuilding. Man. Fuck bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is so unhealthy. Take more fucking steroids.
I never said take steroids, nor have I ever endorsed steroids. People want transparency, but then use that transparency to attack me. It's a lose-lose. Now, I've heard every condescending nickname under the sun. Minor kill, major lame, major gay, and a big one people love, major shill, which does spark an interesting discussion around if YouTubers are actually allowed to make money or not. A lot of people give me shit for having sponsors and selling minis or calendars or merch, but fuck them. I work my ass off to provide people with free content. I have just as much right to make money as anyone else. Now, yes, I do understand that how that money is made is a big factor to whether or not people complain about it. Courses, coaching, and communities are not inherently evil or snake oil. Many of them are, however, many of them are not. I do not regret launching the community. However, I agree it could have been done better, encouraging people to research and discuss with their doctors, instead of saying peptides get you laid or saying peptides will make you a custodian. That part was especially dumb. I don't know why I said that. I also should have made it explicitly very clear that I do not endorse the use of steroids at all. I didn't realize realized that people would get confused between steroids and peptides and sort of clump them together, which is evident by people thinking I am selling steroids. This probably stems from me having spent years looking into it, whereas people like Morty and Glory have barely heard of peptides. I mean, I'm not even selling peptides, I just had a source for them. I will never plug or encourage the use of peptides again on this channel, nor will I plug the coaching community. I am not annoyed at Morty for making the video, and I do think he had some solid points. In a similar way, I do think he has also missed the mark on a few of his other points, which we have discussed in this video. However, that doesn't mean I won't apologize for where I pulled up short. So with that said, I've actually made a new channel dedicated to biohacking, peptides, supplements, and all things regarding the Natty Plus approach. So if you're interested, then you can go there. This channel will be kept exclusively as 40k Law, so the link to the biohacking one will be in the description. So you're now entirely separate and only for the people who actively want to learn more. However, I will gladly plug the new Natty Plus supplements range on this channel. 5 completely natural science-based supplement stacks designed to improve liver health, reduce estrogen, boost natural testosterone, provide a solid men's multivitamin, and also improve blood sugar and insulin responses. No peptides, steroids, or medications, nothing dodgy, nothing illegal, nothing even questionable. All from Mother Nature with scientific studies to support each ingredient. Those supplements are going to go live later this month, but you can join the waitlist in the description below for 50% off the range when we launch. For those curious, no, I am not on steroids anymore. I finished my cycle and I am back down to my doctor prescribed TRT. I am still on my peptides, obviously, and I've never been healthier. So am I actually cancelled? Well, the first video I made since coming back from my holiday performed the best ever in the last 3 months. The video I made live on Friday was the second best ever for the last 3 months, and I'm more motivated than ever, so no, we're not cancelled. Nothing but awesome Warhammer shit to come. It's going to be a very solid second half of the year with what I have in store for you. I will learn from this saga, I will do better, and I will continue to be the best I can be. Peace.